Hey guys, I'm Anthony, and I will tell you guys where I'm from, and then I'll get towards my cancer journey. So I'm from Fountain Valley, California. Lived there for about 4 years, and then I moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Not sure why, but I think it's because it's too expensive over there. It's very costly. So stayed here ever since. But I did move to Georgia back in 2004. And at one point, or less than a year though, and then we moved back to Baton Rouge. My family's Catholic, and so me and my siblings would attend Sunday school. I didn't graduate Sunday school, so I didn't receive my confirmation. I dropped out of the 12th grade in Sunday school. So I only go to church if I feel like it. So if my family member is gone, then I would go. So fast forward to when I believe in February 2023. While I was at home, I was watching this YouTube video and it popped up on my feed. And it says, and it says, watching gang member, and he got so many views. And I shoot weddings on the side, so based on my knowledge, the content must have had a lot of people's interest. So I decided to take the time to watch the video, and while I was watching it, I was a bit confused. As a Catholic, I was taught that sin was action-based, like stealing. Because I remember at one point, back in Georgia, at my cousin's house, he had this Dark Charizard that I wanted, and I stole it. Guilty as charged. Because that's what I really wanted. I didn't have a job at the time. I was in elementary school. So I got caught, left it out on the floor. My other cousin saw it on the floor, and then I got in trouble for it. Huge trouble. So Johnny, he was talking to the pastor, and he said that sin was actually inherited from Adam, and that sin was passed down towards people. It spread out, and it makes sense because in Luke 22:3, I remember the story of Judas. Like, he betrayed Jesus. He trusted in himself, Satan, and that can be cross-referenced with for what I have, for what I do, for what I want to do. For what I need to do, I don't do. But things I do, I'm not supposed to do. And it's not me that does it, but sin inside me that do. And then Peter's 1:20, it says that in the Bible, man created this book called the Bible, and it is led by this Holy Spirit. So the Bible never changes. So should I trust the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or should I believe in billions of people whose mind always changes all the time? So I questioned my holiest friend, and it seems like in the Catholic belief that the church comes first, before the Bible. But that doesn't make sense, because how would you know if we should trust whoever's speaking at the podium? And if we are going to go for Jesus, then it shouldn't matter how we see each other at all at the church, because we all came from dirt, and the church door should always be open, because Jesus wouldn't close the door on us, he'll invite us in. So I can't prove this guy wrong because I never read the Bible before. He read the Bible about like 20 times. And, he was pulling out facts, and I can't disprove this guy. So I attended his Bible studies from Genesis 1 through 6 or 7. And in July 23, I felt very tired at work. I didn't think much of it, so the first week of August, there was this Utah trip that my friends planned together. So it was going to be me, my 2 friends, and their friend and their kids. So 6 people. And I remember on the first day, there was this hill that we're supposed to climb over. And by the time I got to the top, I felt really tired. And of course we hiked more and more, and I was a bit drained. So I remember that we went in a hotel near the airport. Like, it's not far, like we could see it. And my friend mentioned that I should get my teeth checked because he noticed that I was coughing and stuff a lot. And I thought about it for a bit, but it doesn't make sense. Like, teeth connected with coughing, like, I can't really pinpoint exactly which time period, but that it happened. But both my friends was talking to me, and I hear this muffling sound. We were in the room, and it's like putting your hands over your ears. That's what it sounds like from my perspective. And I try to remain focused on my phone because I don't want to give them like attention, like, oh, something's off, so I just focus on the phone. And I remember also that we were supposed to go on this deserted white sand racing strip. So there's a bunch of cars coming in from all over the states to drag strip, right? So before we got there though, my friend had to find parking, so he dropped us off at this clothing store, and the clothing store doesn't have working AC, so they had to use a portable one. And while I was walking between the aisles, I felt I was about to faint. I knew something was wrong, but we were on a trip, and I don't want to ruin the party. Like, we pay for it and everything. I'll worry about later. But while I was walking between the aisles, I found a bucket full of small bottle of water in ice. And so I grabbed it, and it helped me. So I thought I was just dehydrated. So after we played in the sand, we went back into the hotel. And I remember getting out of the car, and I was about to faint. So what I did was I stood still, planted my feet, and took a moment to recover, right? So we went in the car, and we came back home, and my friends mentioned again about my health. Later on, somewhere in August, my other friends saw that I was losing weight. My coworker told me I need to see a doctor because I was coughing, and my manager asked me how my day was while I was on break, and I told her that I can't wait for Friday because I can get to go to sleep Saturday, Sunday, and because I work from Monday through Friday, had the weekends to myself. So sometimes I would take a few naps in the back of the warehouse, and my coworker would tell me that I should drink more coffee. So I did that, and it helped a bit, but of course later throughout the day, I get really tired, and like I just want to go sleep all the time. So I would sleep like at 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. And I remember one day I was on the ladder at work changing the yarn, and I almost blacked out. But I immediately grabbed the side of the rail to prevent my fall. And another incident, I was in my room and I felt my head spun like really fast. And luckily my bed was right there. So I plopped on the bed and I rested a bit to recover. My cousin was coming into town somewhere in August. He's coming to Baton Rouge from Houston to visit us before they leave to Singapore. So they came over, and I remember that I was so cold that I had to wear a jacket, and my mom noticed that. And she thought that was odd, and she asked me why I was wearing a jacket, and I just simply told her that I was cold. And then the next day, we had a party to go to. So we went to my my aunt's house on August 12th. And so we went to our aunt's house, and all of the girls was chatting, and all the guys was asleep. I was very tired, so I knocked out also with the guys. So I understand by this time I should be, seeing a doctor right now. Like, there's so many symptoms popping up, right? Well, I didn't make a move until I started experiencing this crazy cough and night sweats, and sometimes I can't swallow my food smoothly. So in August 26th, Saturday, when I felt like I can't swallow food much, I decided to contact Mary Bird Perkins Center. It's on Esther Lane. I went on the computer because I can't swallow. So of course there's something solid, like it might be cancerous. I'm not sure. So I didn't think it would be COVID or the flu at all. So on the questionnaire, they asked if I have cancer, and I answered yes, just in case. I left them my number for them to call me back. So I went along my day, went to Barnes & Noble, grabbed Starbucks, and I had this instinct telling me that I should go get checked out. So I can't contact my family doctor because they are closed on the weekends. So I decided to drive to LA of the Lake Hospital. I don't know where to go, so I went to the cancer side, which was the other building, but they were closed. So I went to the main entrance and told the front desk that I think I have something in my throat. So they asked me, do I need to go to the ER? So I thought the ER means like immediate surgery. So I told them no. I asked if it's okay if I come in with a doctor's note from a family doctor, and they said yeah. So I left. The next day, I planned out my day to go church, window shop, find somewhere to eat, and then I would go to the clinic. So I left the house, and my instinct is telling me that I should go to the family clinic first, but no, I had to look around, and so I found one that's open one day on Sunday, August 27th, and there was urgency care. So I drove over there and I told them all my symptoms, and this nurse pulled up a chair and told me that I need to go to the ER immediately and to not stop anywhere else. Asked why, and she just told me that they have better equipment. So pretty much I was like, okay, that makes sense, because they only cater to small issues and injuries. So I drove to the ER, I parked across the street, and I went into the main entrance and asked the front desk where I should go. to get tested. They told me to go to the ER. I was lost, so there was this nurse that was walking by, and I asked her where the ER was, and so she directed me, and so I checked in there, and they did all kind of tests: EKG, X-ray, CT, PT, PET, PET scan, and then I remember this cardiologist was checking on my heart for a long period of time, and they told me to wait in the hallway, and the doctor will be right up. So I waited, and this doctor walked up with his arms crossed and asked me what happened. So I told him everything that happened, Utah trip on up, and how I got complimented from people, and he told me that they found something in my chest. So I looked up the mass, chest, or something else, or something like in my phone, and I was like, oh, okay, they just gonna cancer didn't pop up, something else popped up. I was like, okay, they just gonna open me up and then I'm good to go, like just give me pills, right? So but he told me to wait in the room and change my hospital to my hospital gown. So I was a little confused, because all I want is something that they can give me, like a pill, so I can just take it and go home. The nurse came in and to gather all my information. No one knows I'm there, only me and God and the doctors. So I gave him my mom's number, emergency contact, and then my phone died. I forgot my charger in the car, so no one knows that I was at the hospital at all. So I asked for a charger about 3 times, nothing. And this doctor came in and he pulled up a chair and he sat down and he said straight to me, I'm a very straight person. I would just say it, but we think you may have some type of lymphoma. And of course I don't know what that is, so I asked him what it is, and he explained it. But while he was explaining it, my mind was running, because he's new, no one knows I'm there, like, what is this, so my heart rate was on a monitor was skyrocketing, like 120 something. And then like he noticed that, and then he told me that he's going to have me stay overnight to watch me. So I told him that it's going to be okay. I'm not afraid to die. I had deep faith in Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit deeply. And while I told him that, he wanted to pray for me, but really I didn't give him a chance to do that. I was still yapping about my faith, and then he gave me IV fluid. I told him that no one was there. No one knows that I'm here. So I told him to contact my mom and make sure that she's in good setting. So he called my mom, and my mom told that saw that Alligator Lake was calling, but she didn't pick up. She thought it was an accident. So the doctor called the second time, and she picked up. Hello, this is Jenny. Yeah, is this Jenny? Yes, this is her. It's your son. And she was like, which son? It's Anthony. He needs to come to the hospital now. And my mom was like, what's wrong with him? Like, just tell me, like, doctor calling, something's wrong with your son. Of course she's gonna be in shock. So luckily she was in the passenger seat, and my stepdad was in the driver's seat, and they were on their way home from New Orleans. So it's about an hour drive. They were coming from a birthday party. So they drove straight to the hospital, and they came in, and my stepdad was in shock. My mom was crying. She asked why I didn't tell her, and I told her that I didn't know because I just found out a couple hours ago too. And So I text my HR at my workplace what happened, and they were understandable. My family member was also alerted. So they put me in this room, and they gave me something that made me feel very paranoid, So, and then I threw up, and then my dad came in and my stepmom came in, and they had this shock on their face also. And so all my parents, there was like, man, their own son had cancer. So when a person thinks of cancer, what do they think of? They think of, death, right? So before they can start chemo, the lymph node that had cancer was near my heart. And so it was producing fluid, lots of fluid around it. So they had to insert a pleural catheter in my right side of my lungs because my lungs had pleural effusion on both of my lungs. So they opened me up, drained me out. They took the biopsy from it. On August 29th, they took out my pleural effusion tube out, and I get to go home. My body was trying to fight off whatever I have. So I have temperatures going up and down, fluctuating like crazy. And my mom was giving me pills, like Tylenol, back to back. And on Friday, September 1st, my results came in and from the lab, and it tested positive for high-grade B-cell lymphoma. On Saturday 2nd, September 2nd, I had family come down who's my sister-in-law's family that wants to come and visit me, and we now died, and I remember they wanted to take a picture, a group picture. So we did the countdown, 1, 2, 3, and I said cancer, just to make a laugh, because everybody is like feeling bad for me. And no one laughed, like no one. Only my siblings and me laughed. So I love cancer jokes, like it kind of makes my day. So later in the night, my temperature was going crazy again, but it was dropping kind of low, so I had to go back to the hospital. And on Sunday, Sunday, September 3rd, they started surgery through my abdomen, and they had to put a tube in to my heart to drain out the fluid. So on Monday, September 4th, they had to manually drain more fluid from my left lung, and they had to put me in the ICU to keep watch. Still, I haven't seen the oncologist, but so far I was doing well. On Tuesday, they drained my right lung, and so it was September 5th. They made me walk because I haven't walked for so long. I tell you, I know how to walk, but when you tell your brain to signal your legs to walk, it's not cooperating. So finally I get to see my oncologist, and he told me that my high-grade B-cell lymphoma is stage 4, but it's 90% curable. And stage 4 lung cancer is bad, but for what I have with stage 4 isn't as bad compared to a lung cancer. So anyways, they want to insert a PICC line through my arm to my biggest vein, and they tried to do that, but part of my vein was too small, so they wouldn't fit. So I had an option if they wanted to continue to do the other arm right after or wait for tomorrow. I told them that I wanted to do it tomorrow. So right after they took out my bone marrow biopsy for my lower back, they numbed the area pretty good, but it still hurt. So whenever I had the chance, I had to take pain pills. And my biopsy, like, it tested negative. So I'm grateful for that. Like, okay, the only thing that I had to worry about is the center of my chest. So pretty much, whenever I'm in pain, I had to lay on my side. They gave me all kind of pills, and also I haven't like take a dump for days, and I finally did. On Wednesday, September 6th, they put a PICC line through my other arm, and it was successful. On Friday, September 8th, they told me that the procedure, going through chemo, that I had to use a separate restroom away from everybody else because the chemo is very toxic. So it not damages the bad cells, but the good cells too. And your white blood cells, like, it lowers the white blood cells and pretty much like it depleted it. So if you get like a simple sneeze, like if a kid sneezes on you, it can be really deadly. Like, you could die from that. And they scheduled me with cycles, and I was told that I had to do 8 cycles completely. And for each cycle, the first 4 days, I must go through REPOC for 24 hours. On the 5th day, they will watch me to see if I'm okay. Then the remaining 16 days, I get to go home. But a couple of days after being released from the hospital, though, I have to take my Neulasta shot. And what this does is it boosts up your white blood cells. And because the chemo destroyed my cells badly, like, what my bone marrow does is it regenerates it, like it boosts up the white blood cells. So they explained that. And then on Friday, September 8th, I had to go back to the ICU again because I was having shortness of breath and the fluid came back. And on Sunday, September 10th, they had to do an x-ray to see if they can remove my tube in my abdomen or not. So on Tuesday, September 12th, which is my brother's birthday, they started chemo for me. I felt nauseous, so I threw up a few times. And on Thursday, September 14th, I finally got my bone marrow biopsy results, and it's negative. So the only thing that is bad is, of course, the center mass. It didn't metastasize, thank God. And my parents took turns watching me at the hospital. So my dad would take 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. shift. And then from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., my mom would take it. So 12-12. And then so they went back and forth. And then I finally get to go home on Monday, September 18th. But a few days later, I had to get my Neulasta shot. It was painful for a day or two from receiving it. But I just take Tylenol and Claritin. They say Claritin works. I noticed my hair started falling off, big clumps of hair. And I try to hold on to my hair as much as I possibly can, but it kept falling all over the place. It was on the floor, on the pillow, sometimes in my food. So I decided to shave off my head, go bald. And because I don't want hair all over. I have friends coming over, and we talked, but that's when I started to feel like I'm on the other side. People have been telling me that it's what I eat, that it's sugar, this and that. And I had someone telling me that losing hair is similar to guys going bald. And how so? Like, they have a choice. I don't have a choice because, they get to keep their hair, and that cancer death is the same as, a car accident. But that's not the case. Like, car accident is pretty much instant, but cancer is something totally different. I have done nothing wrong. What I did to deserve this, like, they were saying all kind of stuff, and I felt like it was my fault, saying that it's sugar or some type of chemical in my house, like shampoo, that caused my cancer. And I understand constructive criticism, like, but that didn't help well. Like, that didn't help me at all. I don't agree or disagree with them, but I just had to accept what they say, because causing an argument, going back and forth, leads to nowhere. So they are on the north side, and I'm not saying that they should have cancer to experience what I felt. But how can they say such a thing? Because they care? Of course they care. But those words, it hurts way more than the bone marrow biopsy that I had. And this incident reminds me of the book of Job. So in the book of Job, if you know, it's in the Bible. So no people just can't seem to understand. So I had to find somebody to help me. So I joined this cancer group on Facebook, and they helped me a bit, but I needed someone that had the same type of cancer that I have in order for me to relate. So I contacted my friend's niece, I think, who lives in Dallas. And I did my research and asked her questions. So I asked her about the port, and she highly recommended it. I currently have the port now. So before my second cycle, I asked the doctor if they can do that, like insert the port. And so before I had the PICC line through my arm, the problem with the PICC line is that it gets very challenging to find the vein that they needed. And the more you poke, you're at high risk of getting infected, like infections, or get sepsis. I had to eat as much as possible to gain my weight back, but the food was so awful at the hospital, like dry ass meatloaf with no taste. If you can eat that, kudos to you. But after my chemo, man, the closest thing I can say about going through chemo is like you having a huge ass hangover, right? So the day after drinking, and then at the same time you smoke a huge joint, Mary Jane blunt, right? So if you have that opportunity and combine those two, that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you're floating. And I don't condone doing it though, but we have free will. So if you want to do that, you can. So my sister took me out to go to Target and to get nacho ingredients, because we're gonna make nachos at her house. And I can't walk more than 4 aisles in Target, so I had to use this buggy cart to ride around. And so I decided to post my cancer story on Instagram to bring more prayers and people together. And some of them dropped like gift packages for me. And I remember I had this one friend who picked me up, and we went to go eat at this chemistry ice cream shop. So on the way there, I wanted to take my I wanted to tell her my story. So I told her all the stories, and I tried to be as close to the story and get her to understand what it's like. And all she did was just remain silent, and she accepted what I said. She didn't argue. She didn't, say it's this or that. Like, she wasn't religious or anything. Like, she had people that had cancer, and that kind of shocked me because I felt calm and more welcome. So, if people can just remain humbled and just accept, it'll be a lot better for those that's going through something like this, like cancer, because we are trying our best to fucking survive, So, anyways, how my schedule is set up is my second cycle was on October 2nd, my third cycle was on October 22nd, fourth cycle was on November 13th, and fifth cycle was on November 4th, and sixth was on December 27th. So they pulled the latest X-ray out, and they said that my cancer shrank on my third cycle. So I don't have to do 8 cycles anymore. I can just do 6. So that was a huge relief, minus 2 cycles. So that's pretty good. But the type of radiation I had, chemo, that's what I had. But he mentioned that I might have to go through conventional radiation or proton radiation, some type of radiation that zaps. And I prayed to God that I don't want that. I prayed really hard. I was scared. I was like, man, God, don't let me have that, like, go through that. Like, I just want the chemo bag, and that was it. So on November 11th, it was the day of my cousin's wedding. I can't go due to my treatment and into my recovery, but my mom had a chance to go, but she decided to stay back to watch me. It was hard. It was hard for both of us. And we FaceTimed them though, and I tried to play Grand Theft Auto, get my mind off of what's happening that day. And then I saw everyone on Facebook, their faces, and I could feel this vibe that they wish that I was there, and they hate to see me going through this. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. But so my mom told me to give them money because in Vietnamese traditional weddings, there's something called a table toast, right? So at the reception, the couple plus the bridal party, if they want, go to each table, and then they give, thank you for coming, and the speaker at each table return the favor and give thanks and farewells and give them money to help fund for the wedding and good luck. And I had medical bills, like it was racking up like a lot. I could have paid my own wedding for that amount. Like, it was ridiculous, right? Like, I have good insurance, but I decided to type in a long virtual table toast to them and send them an amount, but my cousin rejected my amount since he knows I needed the most. Even though I may not be there to witness their wedding, at the end of the day, I'm really glad that they're married, and most importantly, that they're my cousins. And I just need to get back to my health. So back to my cancer journey, I went through the 5th cycle, and on the 5th day, my oncologist assistant came in and wanted to talk to me. I was in bed, and she was on the left side. She was checking up on me, and the moment when I'm just about to talk, I reached for the barf bag, and I immediately forced it to my mouth, and it threw up inside of it. But luckily she dodged it. She backed up and dodged it, and then just in case. And she called in to give me nausea pills for me. And I apologized, but damn, that shit was close. It's the closest thing I've experienced. Like, so on my 6th cycle, it was my birthday on the 28th, but I went in on the 27th. And, I was asleep, and then the nurses came by, and they decorated my room, my banner, and on the chart it said happy birthday, and they gave me all kind of stuff, like they gave me a large chocolate cookie, they gave me sunglasses, hats, and for a little bit they give me a bit of an ease, and on made me relax a bit happier. And on New Year's Eve, I hear this family crying outside my door at the hospital, and they were crying, really mad, upset, so I just already knew what's up, so I just focused on my phone, and I had this survivor's guilt, but I'm grateful that I'm here, and it made me think about both my side, my normal side and cancer side, and the people around me. We tend to take things for granted, we yell in traffic, we build up anger, people getting strung up on the streets, arguing over sports games, like people lending their kids to their babysitter to give themselves a break. But when my oncologist told me that I had a high success rate of surviving this, he also told me that the huge side effects of chemo will have on me will affect my future. So he told me that I should get a sperm bank, because what chemo does is it lowers your sperm count, and that I only have like a 20% chance of having kids in the future. That may seem like a lot to some people, but there are people that can't have kids at all. So when cancer is finally defeated and we won, it also took some part of us. On New Year's Day was the last day of chemo, and I get to ring the bell. My dad was supposed to work, but I told him to stay back because I want him to see me ring the bell. And for my mom, my stepdad, my dad, sister, and her boyfriend at the time, and my cousin came to watch me ring the bell. And usually when cancer patient rings the bell, people think cancer is defeated, like completely. That is true, but I also learned that ringing the bell means the finale of chemo treatment. So on January 13th, I had a checkup. So me and my mom went to the hospital to get the news. I was kind of scared, but about the radiation part, conventional or proton radiation, to see if but we decided to wait to see if the oncologist said anything. So we went to the checkup room, and he walked in and he said hi, and he put up the x-ray from September and another x-ray from the latest result, and he said, this is before and this is after. Congratulations, you did it. And I was in shock. That I won, that I defeated this. And I thanked them, and I hugged my mom, and he also said that I don't need radiation at all. It's so hard to believe beating cancer is possible. Is it due to my faith, my family or friends, hospital staff, God? I believe it's everyone. Faith without works is dead. If I didn't go to the hospital to get checked out, I can have all the faith I want. If I don't at least try, if I don't put in the work, none of this would have been possible. I'm not going to give a whole Martin Luther King speech. So how people should do this and do that, because God gave me and everyone else free will. But what I can say is that I have the right to say, I understand how you feel, to another person going through this cancer. And I thank God every day for everything. And thank you guys, everyone, for helping me get through this battle. And, you know, it's a real blessing. My next scan, today is April 13th. My next scan will be in November. So I have a long ways to go, you know, to relax. And all I had to come in for is my port, because he asked if I want to take my port out, but for safety reasons, I'm going to keep it for at least a year, just in case it pops back up again. So he said, okay, yeah, that's fine, you can do that. I was like, okay. And all he said is, he's just going to schedule me every 2 months to get my port flushed and get my blood work. And what I learned from this is the indication that you have cancer, or if something's wrong with your body, is your white blood cells. So through your blood work, if your white blood cells skyrocket, something's wrong, and you must get checked out immediately. And, you know, like, I wish that I caught this sooner, but it's soon enough. Like, it's just enough. I caught it just in time in August 27th. And I was confirmed that I was in remission on January 12th. So just about 4 months total of my current cancer journey. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Happy birthday again.
Oh, wait, you do
Oh, favorite.
Right?
Cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say favorite?
Yeah.
Good job. Okay. We can call
Hopefully you're not too nauseous to enjoy it.
They'd be such a tired too.
Wait, your mom should be able to do.
Tie it a little lower so that the
Yeah.
don't have time to.
They're just so big.
There, but that's okay.
No, we didn't know when we used it.
Oh no, you will.
Everyone
You
knew
won't be
that.
able to miss it. There we go.
These things.
That might fit in the little thing, but do you think?
Is it too wide?
It might be.
Oh yeah, we have the
I'll put it back here. I'll put it back here.
So you can have your space over there. Happy birthday.
Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
I'm gonna come get a piece of the cake later.
Aww. Right here.
He's ringing the bell.
I'm coming.
Sure did.
Oh, good. Let me get out of your way. This is important.